In the shadowy depths of medieval Europe, justice was often swift and brutal. Among the many instruments of terror, one device stood out for its sheer cruelty and the slow, agonizing death it inflicted on its victims. This is the story of the breaking wheel, a gruesome tool of execution that symbolized the relentless power of law and orders in a time of darkness. The breaking wheel, also known as the Catherine wheel, was used extensively across Europe from the Middle Ages well into the 18th century. This method was often reserved for those convicted of the most heinous crimes, such as murder, treason, and robbery. It was not just a means of execution, but a public spectacle meant to instill fear and reinforce the authority of the state. The breaking wheel was a large wooden cartwheel, often with iron rims. The condemned person was stripped naked and bound spread-eagle to the wheel with ropes, their limbs tied to the spokes. In some cases, the wheel itself was raised vertically on a stand, or it was laid flat on the ground. The executioner then used a heavy iron bar or hammer to systematically shatter the bones of the victim's arms, legs, and sometimes their spine. The blows were delivered with precision, avoiding vital organs to prolong suffering. The objective was not just death, but a slow and excruciating demise. There were variations in how the breaking wheel was employed. In some instances, the victim was tied to the wheel and their bones were broken before being left to die slowly of shock, blood loss, or exposure. In others, the broken limbs were weaved through the spokes of the wheel, and the wheel was then hoisted atop a pole where the victim was left to die publicly, often taking hours or even days. This display was intended as a grim warning to others. The broken and twisted bodies served as a potent reminder of the consequences of defying the law. Sometimes, the executioner would deliver a final, merciful blow to the chest or head, known as the coup de grâce, to end the suffering. The breaking wheel became infamous through several notable cases. One of the most well-known is that of Peter Niers, a German bandit and serial killer who was executed in 1581. Niers was broken on the wheel over the course of 3 days in what became a widely publicized and terrifying ordeal. Interestingly, the wheel is also associated with the legend of Saint Catherine of Alexandria, who was condemned to die on a breaking wheel. According to legend, the wheel miraculously shattered when she touched it, leading to her execution by beheading instead. This is why the device is sometimes referred to as the Catherine wheel. The use of the breaking wheel began to decline in the late 18th century as Europe gradually moved away from such brutal forms of punishment. The rise of more humane methods of execution, like the guillotine, and the growing influence of Enlightenment ideals led to the eventual abolition of the breaking wheel. Today, the breaking wheel serves as a chilling reminder of a time when justice was meted out with merciless cruelty. It stands as a stark symbol of the darker aspects of human history, a time when pain and suffering were part of the spectacle of law. Thank you for joining us on this grim journey into the past. If you want to learn more about the darker side of history, make sure to subscribe to Scary X. Hit the notification bell so you never miss another tale from the shadows. And remember, some things are best left buried.